Well, welcome back to another live stream. This is Keith, and it is great to be back with you. It's been another interesting day, but I want to welcome you. Let's just jump right into the chat tonight. We got, oops, let's not do that. Let's fix the chat, and then we'll do that. And let's take that off the air. And let's do chat on. What is the deal here? Chat off. What is going on? Let's try this again. Turn that off. Chat on the air. Let me know if the audio is good tonight in the chat. Let's just say hi. Doug was here nice and early, so it's good to have you here, Doug. I'm going to be Mr. Rogers now and change my glasses, but I won't put on any tennis shoes today because I already have them on. I don't know if you guys grew up with Mr. Rogers in his neighborhood, but he would sing that song, "Won't You Be Mine? Won't You Be My Neighbor?" So it's good to have Doug. He had the front row seat today. Grish in the front row too. He said second row, but we have more than one seat in the rows now. We've grown up and we've expanded. It's good to have you here tonight, Hank, as well as Jason is here, and we'll talk more about Jason here in a few minutes. Good to have you, DJ Ware. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I already said hi to Hank, but it says it's coming up at 7 p.m. in New York. 1 a.m. tomorrow in Paris, 12 a.m. tomorrow in London, 3 a.m. tomorrow in Moscow, 8 a.m. tomorrow in Beijing. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, DJ Ware is in the nosebleed seats. So it's good to have you guys. So as I said, howdy to Hank. I'll say howdy to all of you guys. So let me tell you my story. So yesterday, let's just put this still image on the screen. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Let's not do it that way. Let's be more creative. Let's do a 2-box layout here in SuperSource. Let's just fire that up. Cool. And we'll change the SuperSource. So I am on the screen. So that's tonight's video. We're going to change what's in that box right now to my media. Let's do media player 1. And then I will drop this still image in here. Chat is still on the air, it looks like. So I was finishing up this still image yesterday, and I had finished the video. I'm watching my studio tour video through a number of times just to make sure there's no typos and no mistakes. I don't have as much on it, but I am highlighting as I walk through the studio. I am highlighting some still images from different videos I have in my channel in case someone finds this studio tour and has some curiosity about different things in my studio. So I'm super excited. Oh, let's hit record. Oh, I got to change my disk here. Hang on a second. Just a little behind tonight. And so anyway, I was working on this still image. And then suddenly I ended up finding a giant chip out of this back second to last tooth. I mean, I'm talking about a chunk of it was missing. And I was just sitting here in the studio. I had gone into the kitchen. My wife had made a bunch of caramel corn on Sunday afternoon. I didn't eat any on Sunday afternoon. I wasn't really hungry. We had stopped at Burger King on our way home. We go to a church in Sunnyside, about it's probably about 32 minutes from my house. A good friend of mine's there. So when we can, we get up there. So this is one of those trips that on the way back, we stopped at Burger King and ate lunch. And long story short, I wasn't hungry at all. And so by the time I got home on Sunday night, I wanted to just crash. I was pretty tired. And so I didn't have any of the caramel corn, which if you know me, that's not like me at all. And so I decided to have some yesterday as I was working kind of on my day off / studio day and thoroughly enjoying myself working on the studio tour video that you guys suggested that I do and put it on my channel. Now I've done studio tours before here in the studio, but this was going to be a complete tour and just upload it to YouTube as a regular video on my channel, not a live stream, because I have a live audience and then there's people that watch the lives after they've gone live. They're not necessarily with me in the chat. And by the way, if you can't chat tonight, it's because I have subscriber only chat on. And my suggestion is you guys subscribe, chat with us. And then if you don't like the channel, then unsubscribe. I'm perfectly fine with that. But we're trying to not have people just pop in, say something rude, and then pop back out again. And that's why I have chat, subscribe only chat enabled. So if you've already subscribed to the channel, then you can chat away and make sure that you do say hi in the chat. So I grabbed some of that caramel corn and was chewing away at it, went back and got some more about, I don't know, probably 45 minutes later. And Zoe, who in the video is sitting right there on the couch, my studio tour video. So you'll get a chance to see her in that video as I go throughout the studio and show most of everything in the studio. There's a lot of things in here. It would be an hour-long video if I tried to cover absolutely everything and give some background and then talk about videos on my channel. So I tried to highlight the main things that I kind of felt people would have an interest in. And I came back in here. She was following me out there when I was getting the caramel corn because she loves it when some drops on the floor. And then came back in here and it was probably about, I don't know, I probably worked for about another hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. It was getting into dark outside. And then all of a sudden, I just kind of licked the back of that side of my mouth with the tip of my tongue. And lo and behold, there's a big chunk of my tooth gone. And I didn't know what was happening. I looked in the bathroom mirror. I couldn't see in there. Anyway, long story short, literally, I had a big piece of my tooth gone. I got up this morning early at 7 a.m. to call the dentist's office. I went in at noon. They said that I had a chunk of my tooth missing. There's still kind of a filling still there. And really the only option for that tooth, 2 cracks in that tooth, evidently. Now, it kind of was on the watch list, but every time I talk to the dentist, he says, well, if it's not bothering you and you don't have any sensitivity to cold, we'll just keep an eye on it. Well, evidently, since the last time I was in, we weren't keeping a good enough eye on it. In fact, he said that another crack in it could break. And he said, so the only thing you can really do is put a crown on it. And so basically today at 12 o'clock, they shot me with Novocaine. In fact, my face is still a little bit numb. It was numb all the way up to about my eye socket, all the way down my tongue and everything. And it really didn't start coming back. I just rolled the dice, made a decision when I got back in the house at 1:30 today that I would go ahead and roll with today's live stream. That's why I didn't have anything posted on my channel early. And so I actually got my tooth all the way ground down, whatever they do. And then they build it back up and they put a temporary cap on it. And then in 2 weeks and about a day, Wednesday the 26th, I'll go back in. They will get my new crown and they will apply it. And that'll be the second crown I've had. So I'm just feeling pretty blessed that there was no horrible pain. He did have to shoot me twice with Novocaine. Didn't feel anything the second time. And normally the doctors, have you ever been to the dentist? And I'm sorry, I got to talk about this. If you ever been to the dentist and they numb you, how many times have you had a dentist just say, how does it feel in there? And then they start doing a filling or grinding in there and you have pain. Well, I don't respond as easily to the Novocaine or whatever they put in there. So they, first of all, they put like a long Q-tip, and that numbs it where he's going to put the Novocaine shot in. And so when he asked me to grab my lip, he says, first of all, does your lip feel like it's huge? And I said, yeah, it does. And he goes, do you have any tingling in it? I said, yeah, I have tingling in my tongue and my lip. And he kind of stopped for me. He says, yeah, tingling? You can feel tingling? And I said, yeah, I can feel tingling. So he said, well, grab your lip and pinch it and let me know if you feel any pain. I'm going, okay. So I pinched it. I could feel pain. So he got out the syringe. You know, I don't look at that needle, but it's probably about that long. And, you know, they do that thing. So anyway, went through probably about 50, 60-minute procedure to get the tooth all done. Had to do a couple molds for my crown because the first one didn't take. And so crazy day. So I didn't even know. In fact, until about 30 minutes ago, I would talk with kind of a lisp, and you guys would have probably loved it if the feeling hadn't come back in my mouth. So it's been an interesting day. I didn't get all the research done today that I wanted to for today's topic, but we're going to do our absolute best to talk about some updates. Rode has an update. I want to talk a little bit about mix effects, and I have links in the description for all of this. PlayoutBee, we're going to talk about the Raspberry Pi that I've had for a while. I have it right over my shoulder. So I'm going to grab them. We're going to talk about that. And then I have a goal tonight. Second time we've done this. I have a goal today, and I'll pop it up on the screen. There you go. If you would like to help me in this goal, I think it's live. Let's see. Yeah, so I have a super chat goal tonight. If you guys will help me, I have version 1 of PlayoutBee. It is a HyperDeck emulator. It works on Windows and Macintosh. It also will work on a Raspberry Pi. And so I'm going to I'm going to buy the version probably that works on all 3 platforms. I think the value of that's like $125. But if you guys can jump in, help support that, then what I will do, if we can get these 5 super chats, $5 super chats, and you're welcome to ask a question or anything, and I'll address it when you do that super chat. But if you'd like to be a part of that, we have a goal, we have a timer on it, and we're trying to get 5 super chats tonight, and then that money, what's left after YouTube takes their cut, I will use that and then add money to it, and we will get the new version of PlayoutBee, version 2.1.0. And again, I have a link to a video below that talks about that, what's in version 2, what's in the update, even how to install it on Raspberry Pi. Those links are down there. The announcement from Rode about the new update to the RodeCasterVideo. We'll talk about that tonight. A link to Adam's most recent video, Adam Tao, who designed Mix Effect. And most of you know, and I'll bring the Raspberry Pi here later, but Mix Effect I use all the time in the studio. And in a few weeks, when I can figure out the adapters, we are going to demo on the new M4 iPad that my wife has. We're going to demo Mix Effect on it. I added it to our account now, so it has Mix Effect on it. And we're going to demo the multi-view that you can actually see. Multi-view is tethered USB-C, and then you have to kind of do some weird dongles because that USB-C port doesn't really know what direction it's going. So you trick it by using adapters. And anyway, that most recent update by Adam Tao is in the description as well. He's the designer of MixEffect. And then also PlayoutBee videos are there. Aaron Parecki's video that just released, I think in the last day, he talked about the top 3 new features available in that. Wow, look at that. So that's actually amazing. Adam Tallis in the chat tonight. Thank you, Adam. So we're going to be talking about MixEffect in the future on the Mac M4. We're going to talk a little bit about tonight. I want to talk a little bit about my history with MixEffect. Really, these different tools that are used for live streaming. Again, Adam, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. So that gets us on the way to get the new PlayoutBee. And I've known about this. I get alert emails. I actually posted a video with John Barker from Here to Record and Jonas from ByteHive, who designed, or his team designed PlayoutBee. And they have a number of other apps, so you should really go over and check out those videos in the description later tonight. And then also go check out some of the videos that Jonas has done. I did a couple about the event going on in Europe. New tech, lots of audio tech. Stream Deck, Elgato made an announcement about a new PoE adapter for the Stream Deck so you can network it. So that's something new that's eventually going to end up being released, I hope, out there in the world. And that will be awesome. So thank you, Adam. Thank you, Hank, as well. I don't know why some of the chats, they do not display properly, but Hank says, keep up the ongoing informative videos. Well, thank you, Hank, and thank you so much for the super chat. And I'm so sorry that they're just not displaying right. And it doesn't seem what I do with the key here. Let me mess with it here real quick. That is key 4. And it doesn't bring up the background regardless of what I do with the clip and gain settings. And if you don't have this right, every time I put that on the air, you can see it will darken up the screen. So I have to be really careful. So yeah, I don't get the background. Maybe it's something going on in the plugin that Aaron Parecki made. But again, thank you, Hank, so much for participating in tonight's super chat. Ernesto, it's good to have you. Obviously, it's great to have Adam Tao in the chat tonight. Grish says key multiplier. Again, not tracking with you tonight, Grish. Maybe it's because I'm still a little bit loopy from the anesthesia, but I'm drinking some fluid now. Haven't eaten anything today because I couldn't chew and didn't want to mess up that tooth anymore. Had a funny feeling I needed to get right to the dentist, so I did exactly that. And again, we are raising, seems to be working now. Yeah, it works with regular chats, but if I pop up Adam, he didn't say anything in his super chat, but Hank did. And for some reason, when you pop up a super chat, it just doesn't work. So, and I've been playing around with the key multiplier. So I'm actually literally in the key settings right now. I have key number 4 on the air for displaying chat, and I have a macro programmed for that. So, okay, let's do this. Let's dive right in because I want to say a big thank you. Let's see. Let me find it here. Why am I missing this? Said hi earlier. There it is. We have Jason in the house. Now, let me just jump into one of the things I was going to talk about tonight. I am flying to Las Vegas next Monday night. Jason is going to be picking me up. Jason happens to be one of the clients that contacted me using my link on my website, which is again in the description below, because I do a free consult. And he has some really cool things happening in his world. And so we're going to broadcast live next Tuesday from his facility in Las Vegas. I'm pretty excited about that. So going to pack my laptop, going to do some work ahead of time just to get everything ready. And just to give you just a taste, a little bit of a highlight here. Let me drop a couple images in here. Let's take chat off the air here just for a second. Sorry about that, Jason. But just so you know, I'm talking about, here's Jason on his channel. And I think I put a link in the description. I'm pretty sure. If I did not, I apologize for that. So this is Jason's one of two shops. This has cameras all the way around it. He does training. He has two YouTube channels, two businesses, Vegas Hard Bags, and then Major League Fab. And so he teaches classes on fabrication. He is a designer. He's a live streamer. He's been around the build business for a long time. Here's this one of the studios we're going to work on. I'm going to call this Studio A, and then right next to it is going to be a new studio that he and I are going to be talking about and scheming on and planning. But you can see his setup there. It's just a small room, but we're going to talk about that. I have been working with Jason for a while now, just communicating back and forth through Zoom. Haven't been to Vegas yet. This will be my trip there. I will be there Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, flying back Friday. I'm really looking forward to diving in and getting my hands dirty in Jason's world for Vegas Hard Bags and Major League Fabs. So again, I will make sure that there is, I'm pretty sure, let me just check the video right now. Where is it? Somewhere here. Go back a page. Yeah, the link is in the descriptions, Vegas Hard Bag. So make sure you subscribe and support Jason over on his channel. And it's good to have you, Jason, in the chat. And so if you have a question or anything you'd like to ask him, he is a client. And we've been working together for about 5 months, 6 months going on now. And now we're kind of in the final phases of getting everything dialed in. He's already producing videos. He's fabricating things. He has hours of video in the can that he's editing using DaVinci Resolve. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as he and I are face-to-face, side-by-side, live next Tuesday. So I don't want to spoil any of that, but I will flash this on the screen, and hopefully this video won't get taken down for this. But yes, I will be in Vegas next week. And so that's exciting. So I will get the tooth replaced after I get back. So I get back on Friday, be here for the weekend. Then on Wednesday, I go in to get this finished. So again, I'm honored to have Jason on the channel with me next Tuesday. I'll be streaming from his room. So that'll be fun. I've never been into space, so I'm super excited about that. He and I will be talking. I will have some video footage put together on my iPhone and my adapter, so I can show you that. So I'll edit that most likely on my iPhone, shoot it on my iPhone, and then we'll roll some footage of the inside of his studio. And it'll be a lot of fun. You guys will really enjoy next Tuesday's live. You want to be behind the scenes of someone's studio, get a chance to pick someone's brain. You guys will be able to ask questions in the chat. It will be a lot of fun. So chat will be a little bit less operable, only because I will have just my laptop, and I'll probably borrow one of Jason's monitors to be able to display or put chat where I can watch it and click on things. So, okay. So again, that's coming up. So we kind of skipped to the last thing tonight because Jason's in the chat and we are going to Vegas and you guys are coming with me because I will be live next Tuesday from Vegas and I'm really excited about that. So he's got 2 rooms upstairs. It's a loft in his shop and then 2 places downstairs that he shoots from. And so this is probably as technical of any client I've ever had. And so super excited. Been a lot of fun. And it's great to create with someone else that has the same kind of passion and vision for this whole live streaming world, video production, audio, lighting, and all of those things are things that we've talked about. Stream Deck, it hasn't been used yet in his studio, but we might play with the one he has and get some things set up with that. But he does already have Mix Effect, and I'm really excited about how that is going to work for him. So again, Adam, there's one of my referrals, and told many clients of mine that they have to get that app. It's just such a good tool. Okay, so let's see. What other pictures do I have here? Try to make this transition. Okay, let's pop this on the screen. I'm going to go back into SuperSource here. We will prep this. You know, all the time I've been streaming, I do have kind of a confession to make. It's in Media Player One. Cool. And that is, I haven't used a lot of the key features where you can check out your keys or check out SuperSource. Now I use it for SuperSource, but the preview of SuperSource in my multi-view I use, but I haven't really used the key preview. And what am I talking about? Let's just pop this on the screen real quick and I'll share what I'm talking about here. We will change something over here. I'm going to put multi-view back in number 2 here. There we go. Little complicated, but I want to show you guys this. So we are going to go into SuperSource now. And let's see, how do I want to do this? I want to use this layout. Box 1, EOSR, box 2. Let's see, we will do my laptop, and box 3, we will do extreme out. Okay, these boxes are not huge, but I just did this layout really quickly, and you can see right here on the top, I have my SuperSource layout. So I can check out my SuperSource because I've assigned SuperSource to one of my multi-view boxes. And this is really important, especially for live production, because you can get a preview of what's in it. Sometimes I'll look over there and I have my still image in the background because I haven't hit a macro yet to change what's in my media player 2. And so if I hit the right macro, then it will change to a SuperSource layout with my regular background, which is behind me right now. I have a 3-box SuperSource layout. I have the software up there and I have multi-view down there. So I can kind of show you what shows up in here. So let's say I want to preview. So let's click on a chat here. This mouse. Got Grish up here. So let me disable that now. How do I want to do this? Over here. So I'll disable the chat. So if I hit the key button right below it, so you're watching that window up there and you're watching the 4 keys. First one is red, 4 in a row after the top row. And so instead of just turning it on the air, to make sure it's working right, I can hit the key button right here, and you'll see it come up in the preview screen. You see that over there, the top right box, just inside of that, 3 boxes over from my finger. As I hit the key button, the key pops up in preview, and then if I want to use the key, then I can hit the on button, or I can do a transition. Now, if I do a transition, that's going to come on with SuperSource, because that's what I have in, actually, no, it's going to come on with this main camera. So if I just do a transition right now, you're going to see it come on with my main camera. So the chat's on, now it's off, now it's on, because anytime you just hit the key button and you display it in your preview screen, that's what it's going to come live in. Now, if I want to make it live right now and not just in the preview, then I'm going to turn it on. So this is just a little demo and my confession, because I haven't really done that. I'll spend a lot of time working in my studio if I'm producing a video, if I'm wanting to add something, kind of produce it in the studio, or if I'm live. I haven't spent a lot of time using that feature where I can hit the key and see it in my preview. A lot of times I have macros programmed, but if I'm changing things up to show you something like multi-view on the bottom and my software on the top, then I've got to lay that out. I do not have a macro created for this layout. Now, this is not a super complicated layout, but it is, because you can't bring multi-view in unless you run out of an ATEM into another one and back in again, and that's what I'm doing. I go from ATEM number 1 out of one of the HDMI outs, that's split, because it goes to my multi-view monitor behind me and my multi-view monitor on my desk, but it also goes over into my ATEM number 2 as an input. Then I can come out of my ATEM number 2, and I use HDMI out 1 and HDMI out 2 to come into channel 3 and 4 in my studio in my regular ATEM. So my Extreme number 2, all 8 of those inputs, including all the features built in, like SuperSource, like all the keys, the downstream keys, all of those features come in to my live streams in my ATEM number 1 through 2 inputs. So yeah, I could create a key on the air and then bring a camera like my Canon 5D Mark, oh no, actually it's my new Canon 5D Mark IV now over here in the corner. That comes into my ATEM number 2, and then it comes back, and you can see all 3 cameras in a row right there. Well, camera 1 comes in the back of the ATEM, right? Camera 2 comes back of my ATEM number 1, but camera 3 comes into ATEM number 2 and then comes back in to channel 3, and then my multi-view is coming in channel 4. So I can assign whatever I want from ATEM number 2 up to 2 inputs to my ATEM number 1, because I have it coming in channel 3 and 4, so I can send whatever I want from ATEM number 2 to channel 3 and 4. Now, why did I do that? Well, I was wanting a 2ME device with lots of inputs, and the only way I could do that was to add another ATEM Extreme ISO to my studio. So that feature, I have a confession that I was not using, and so that's kind of why I did this layout. So now let's put chat back on the air. Okay, that's properly chat plugin issue, like you said. Yeah, I agree with that, Grish. I think it's Aaron Precky's chat plugin. I know there's some other plugins out there. I just have not tried them. And at one point, I reached out to Aaron. I communicate with him 2 or 3 times a year. I used to through like Twitter Messenger, and he's not on Twitter that often, but he'll answer me on Twitter. So I reached out to him once, and I think he made some tweaks. He was having the same issue, and then the problem went away. And then I think Google Chrome makes an update, and then if he's not rewriting that code for that chat plugin, then it's just not going to work. And what you do is that once you plug that into Chrome, then you use, when you pop out chat, it gives you a little deal to copy, and then that's copied into OBS, and then I use OBS to display full on the screen. So what you're seeing from Jason is OBS popping up on the screen, and I have it set up so it's in that bottom corner. So, and let's see, I have my PC available, so let's change these boxes. Let's go box 3 now to my desktop, and let's see. Oh, I'm not sharing that screen, so that's not going to work. So let's go back to my laptop. Yeah, so I don't have one of my screens duplicated on my PC because I want to broadcast chat over there. So so again, I'm just full screening OBS, and then I can open up OBS. Let me move my Skycam controller out of the way here. I can open up OBS over here, and then I have it locked right now, but I could unlock the chat and then move it around the screen and reposition it in all these crazy places. Again, because it's just a full screen display using my key to take out the background. And to see where this is going to end up, I have to hit transition every time after I reposition it. And I think that's big enough to do all of the chats if you ask a long message. So I'm looking forward to being there too, Jason, not ignoring your comment. It's going to be a blast to have you. Good to have you, Joe. Hey, Keith, sorry I'm late. Good to see you. Yeah, you missed my story about my tooth being cracked out, but you can go back and watch that. And then I just had Jason on the screen, Vegas Hard Bags. I'm going to be in his studio in Las Vegas next week. So that's going to be fun. For 3 days, I'll be live streaming from there. I wish that NAB was when we were there. That'd be a blast for Jason and I to go to NAB, which is held in Las Vegas. So I may have to make another trip down there to go attend that event. But it's good to have you in the live stream tonight, Joe. Thanks for showing up. We actually have 3 studios we work out of. Yeah, so he has 2 studios downstairs, a studio upstairs, but he's also building in the loft a multi-use room that will also be for podcasting. So I'm super excited about whiteboarding with that and helping Jason solve all of those problems. So I'm going to be using my laptop with Jason's Extreme, and we'll do some testing to make sure the internet's fast enough. He says it's speedy, so we'll figure all that out. I get there late Monday night, so Tuesday morning after we get the tour, I'll have to dive in and make sure everything's working in his studio, Grish. So thank you for asking that question. Yeah, really the only thing I would take is my laptop and my iPhone. I do not, if I did have a RodeCasterVideo, I would take that just to test it on the road, but I haven't purchased one yet. It looks like I'm going to this year. Shan and I have been talking about the money going towards that. It's about, with tax, like $1,300, so it's not a cheap investment. But yeah, we'll be using Jason's gear, and he will be doing a live with me on Wednesday night, his channel, and then showing a class that he does to everybody. So that's going to be fun. So I get a chance to be a part of that. So I'll be helping him on Wednesday. So if you subscribe to his channel, and the link is in the description, then you'll be able to get the alert, and you'll be able to see us twice. One with me producing for him in the background. I don't know if he'll even have me on that live stream, but I will be there producing that with him. and then we'll be live together on Tuesday. Okay, so again, we still have this goal. We have 2 super chats so far. We're trying to get 5 super chats because we are going to, let's bring this back over here. And let me find this here. Oh my goodness gracious saints galore, me and a logo. What in the world is going on with my studio tonight? Let's see. Chat is off the air. Let me try me and my laptop again. There we go. So I'm going to be, if I can get those 5 super chats tonight, and I set a timer, so help me out. If we can get those 5 super chats tonight, that's going to be about $22. You can see the cost in European dollars. I want to buy the Flex version, which runs on Windows, Mac, and a Raspberry Pi. I own version 1 of this that just runs on a Raspberry Pi. And so PlayoutBee is a great idea, and Jonas did a great job designing version 1, and they decided just to completely rewrite the code. So if you're like me and you had PlayoutBee, which is a HyperDeck emulator, what is that? Play video back in your live stream, automate it using the macros from the ATEMs. All of that can happen with PlayoutBee. And version 2 is completely rewritten. I posted the video in the description of Jonas talking about version 2. And then there's another video of him talking about version 2.1.0. And then there's another video of him talking about how do you install it on a Raspberry Pi. And so it's basically BlackMagic design, HyperDeck compatible. It works with Bit Focus Companion, which means that you could use a Stream Deck to automate it. It's got a web interface, so you interface with the website, which has access to files, and that's where you play from. So it's kind of similar to a lot of these apps that we're already using, some of us that work from our PC or our Mac, and then we use that to display either through regular software on your laptop or using a deck link card if you're like a church or a venue that's using projection or special effects as they do live recording, or if you're in a studio and you're broadcasting from software like a lot of people do, then you're already used to doing that using a web-based controller. But that's what it does. It does videos and music, and it has alpha channel. So it's just going to play videos. It's not designed to do animated graphics like a HyperDeck with a key and fill. And I talk about that in my studio tour video as well, with a little diagram just to make sure that people know that if you're going to add a HyperDeck to your studio and you want animated graphics that look really sharp as they fly across the screen, then you want to have both the key channel and the fill channel. Fill channel is just the main video or the main graphic that's animated, which obviously is video, and you render those videos with an alpha channel, and then that means it keys out the background. So the key channel just really cuts out the background. It's a duplicate, and I demo that inside my studio tour. I show key and fill on my multi-view in that video, and I've showed that here before. So there is a version 2.1.0, and this is a great tool. If you do not want to spend a ton of money on a HyperDeck, and you can look at the HyperDeck prices, we'll pop up BlackMagic Design site. I'm going to do a new one because I want that one to talk about. Phone app. And we go to products, we go to HyperDecks. You can see the prices right here. If you buy the HyperDeck HD Mini, it does not have fill and key. So it's a great device for $495, but you're not going to be able to get the key and fill outputs. You only have an alpha SDI out of that, and you have an HDMI in that. The one below it is what I have in my studio. I have the old version of the Mini, which does have key and fill, but the new version HD does not, so keep that in mind. If you want key and fill, you got to buy this one right here, and that's going to put you back $695 unless you find something used. And then if you want to go to higher end with more drives, better knobs on it, a little bigger controller, then you're going to go to the HyperDeck Studio HD Plus. That's $995, $1,595 if you want to go to a 4K. And again, that's these devices right here. So they have the drives in them, and they also have an SD card slot on them right here. So you still have one SD card, and then you have 2 of these slots. So you really get 3 different types of media, but it'll only roll over from the bigger cards. You only have one SD slot in these. Then you have the HyperDeck Extreme 4K with a giant monitor. That'll do up to 2160 60p, 60 frames per second. Then you have the 8K. Obviously, it'll do 4320 at 60 frames per second. Both of those will do H.265 codec. So will the HyperDeck Studio 4K Pro up here. And you don't get it on any of the lower models, but you do get H.265 on the 4K models. That's just a new codec. And then if you just want to have one HDMI in and one HDMI out to loop videos, like bring your PC in to do recording or bring a camera in to record from it, and then have the HDMI out to your ATEM or your streaming device, then the Shuttle is a great tool. It's got the big cool knob on it. You can double press, jog, and scroll, and then slowly go forward and back. So it's really cool for replay. And then you can set that up with automation, buy a couple of those and do instant replay with them. And you're only into those $495, but they do not have key and fill either. So this PlayoutBee, if you want to save yourself money, you'd have to invest in the software. You could run it from your laptop and automate it, or your Mac, or you could then get crazy and put it on a Raspberry Pi. So let's just change cameras. They're not cameras, but why not? Let's go to didn't I make a macro? Camera 3 and a logo. And we'll change our lights up. There we go. So, got this microphone. Still should have audio, I do. So I took the Raspberry Pi apart. Actually, Joe helped me get PlayoutBee on here, and for some reason the password won't let me log in. So I took the SD card out, getting ready to, and actually this case just goes together with a few screws like this. This is the argon case. There we go. And then the lower section you can put a M.2 card in, and I have a 256 gig M.2 card. It's like one of the original versions for this case. And then you can link it together, get the top talking to the bottom by using this little bridge. So you go from this USB-C port A 3.0 to this port. So you use it like this, and you just plug them together, and now it's bridged. And so we put all the PlayoutBee, you get it with the actual the control software. I forget what it's called. Joe, put it in the chat if you would. But you get PlayoutBee and everything on this card. And if you watch the Jason or Jonas's video that's in the link about how to do a Raspberry Pi setup for PlayoutBee, and if I get out of this camera, it's all facial detect. There you go. Trying to focus. Anyway, I have all these on face detect. This little micro SD card boots up the iOS or whatever it's called, operating system, and with PlayoutBee embedded. So the operating system comes on, then it goes right into PlayoutBee. Well, now it's popping up asking me for a password. And I've tried every password anybody's told me. Raspberry Pi as a password with Pi as a username, and it will not let me boot in. So haven't been able to use PlayoutBee for a while. I've tried every password that I had in my records, and I don't know what happened. Still boots up in PlayoutBee, which is the only app running on this Raspberry Pi. And again, the Pi is right there, screwed into the case. And then this actually even has this magnetic top with a serial port, and then all of these little pins. So again, Raspberry Pi inside that case. Hope that's focusing. Should switch back to the other camera. But because Joe helped me on this, we're gonna call this camera tonight the Joe Torelli Cam. And even though he wants me to name the Sky Cam the Joe Torelli Cam, but he helped me get this running. We had a Zoom console. He sent me what I needed to have ready, but now I can't access it. So if we can raise this money with the Super Chats, then we are going to go ahead and buy that. And in about 3 weeks or 2 weeks, depending on how things go, I will be back on live and we'll literally fire it up on the Raspberry Pi and I will demo that PlayoutBee version 2.1.0 and even make a companion button or two, and we'll automate it using the control software, obviously, of the ATEM, which it comes in just like a HyperDeck. You just have to have the IP address, and Joe gave me a link to an app that will find the IP address from this, and I already actually have the IP address plugged into my ATEM software, so it should recognize it right away once I can log in to the app. So you don't have to have a Raspberry Pi, but it's a great way to have another computer, leave it on, and then you always have PlayoutBee ready to go with your other HyperDecks, and this is kind of a less expensive way to go. You don't have to buy a case like this, but I wanted a case. This has a fan built into it and has 2 HDMI outs. One of these can go to a monitor, and the other one can go to play the video out to your ATEM. So that's why I purchased this case, and obviously pretty cool. So love it. Love the fact that I have extra storage where I can put some of the files on for playing videos back. And so I could use this as a remote HyperDeck at an event if I needed to. So don't want to lose this little SD card. So I'm going to plug it back in the slot. So if you guys would help me out with a few more super chats, we will get working on getting that rolling. So I should look at the chat, see if anybody else did a super chat. Adam, Tal, and Hank so far. So I need 3 more super chats tonight. That is our goal. And we will get PlayoutBee and we'll make a half a night of a stream for that. We got a whole night going to be in Las Vegas next week. That'll be a fun live stream. We'll talk about some of the tech that Jason has in his studio, and then we will roll. So laugh out loud, the Joe Cam tonight. Yep, calling it the Joe Cam because Joe helped me with that. I also have some monitors. I'm looking at a monitor right now that was a gift from Joe. And in my video studio tour, first thing I do is stop in the entrance of my studio. You're gonna watch that video. Should be able to get it released tomorrow. Just need to watch it back a couple times and make some final edits and then get it uploaded. But I dropped that still in the live earlier. I'll just pop it in front of me. So there's the still image for the studio tour. So when that pops up, if you have rang the bell and choose all, in the bell icon as a subscriber, then you will get an alert tomorrow when that video goes live. And I just want to remind you guys that Jonas also talked about this new device. This is a PoE device that goes right behind your Stream Deck. You can see it tucked in there. Has 2 USB-C ports and a Ethernet port. You're going to be able to remotely control and access your Stream Deck from from your network, and that's going to be a really cool add to Stream Decks, because right now they're USB only. They can fall asleep, and so you also be nice to be able to do some of the things that you'll be able to do once it's a part of your network, which is really cool. That's going to be available sometime this summer, I think, is what Jonas said. Again, I have links to that video in that live stream, I think 2 weeks ago. So go back and check out those live streams and look at the links. And again, I got a bunch of links in the video description today. So let's talk about this real quick. Thank you so much, Jason, for that super chat, and that gets us rolling closer to where we need to go. And 2 of 5, it says. Not sure why it says 2 of 5. I think we've had 3 now if you count Adam. I think you have to be $5 for it to count. So we'll count Adam's $4.99. That's why the goal says only, let's see, not that one. I don't need that one. That's why the goal up here only says 2 out of 5, but we definitely are going to give Adam credit for his. Okay, so we do want to talk about mix effect, but I do want to cut a couple things out here. I will try to take my time. And I did press record. I missed those from earlier, so I just want to make sure that I address this. The goal appears to have ended. Yeah, I think I only set it for an hour, and I launched it right before my event went live. So that's fine. I don't know how the goal works with YouTube, but as far as I'm concerned, if I hit 5, I am going to purchase that PlayoutBee. I'm probably going to purchase the all 3 version that lets me have access to Windows and Mac, as well as access to the Apple Pi, Raspberry. Why did I say Apple Pi? Raspberry Pi version. It's good to have you, Jay, tonight. Looking forward to your live stream if you're live tonight. If not, then next time you are live. But thank you so much, Jay, for joining us tonight. Apple Pie, laugh out loud. I kind of knew that you would say something. Surprise, surprise. So, okay. So let's go back into SuperSource here. You go like this. Now I'm going to change what's in box 2 to media player 1. And then I'll just drop this in here real quick. Turn that off. So Rode announced yesterday that there is a new firmware available. And let me see, I think I have. Yeah, so a new update that really adds some great features. In fact, if you watch Aaron Precky's video, he has one. It was loaned to him by Rode. They actually let him access the beta version. He's been testing it for a couple weeks. I believe this is going to be available in Rode Central now. I don't have a RodeCasterVideo. I do plan on getting one this year. It's on my top priority list. So I think it's going to be a great tool for some of my clients. I want to do some training on it. I'm going to do some videos on it. And I was kind of waiting to see what they would do and how often they were going to update it and see if they would deal with some of the limits. So 3 major limits. You can transition now from the graphics you have on the screen. So for instance, and Aaron talks about this, if you wanted to have a preset and that top row are presets, you can now set it to auto switch from, like, if you had a countdown timer, you could have that countdown timer on the screen. That it would, when that countdown timer ran out, it would automatically switch to your main camera view, which is great for people who live stream. In fact, Aaron says in his video that he wasn't using it, and he wasn't using it in his other live stream that he does for his partner at the house, and because it didn't have some of these features. And he talks about how these, not 3, there's more than 3 things, but these 3 new features are really good. So not only can you do these auto transitions, you can now turn certain audio devices on and off. So let's say you want an intro video to roll, but you don't want your microphone on. No one wants to fiddle with that little dial on that tiny LCD screen. So trying to use this device live wasn't very intuitive. Maybe you don't want to have a laptop open using Rode Central, trying to do all the changes there. Again, because it's one more thing. This is supposed to be designed to be user-friendly. So now you can set up scenes. That's what they call them in the top row. And the scene could roll your intro, and then it could automatically switch back to your main camera, and then that audio would automatically turn on, because now you can enable scenes and you can decide what channels of audio do you want on or which channels of audio do you want off. So now you can do these transitions and you can control your microphones. And to me, that's huge, because that was one of the biggest complaints that I heard about. And I'm super glad that they did that update. So now let me jump into this view. And so Rode Central, so you have auto switching. The RodeCasterVideo features a unique and innovative auto switching technology that automatically switches between inputs and scenes to simulate an organic switching process. So now you can kind of create different options for how quick you want it to transition. And so it's kind of like being able to kind of set like the style of your show. And you can also recall now files with this new update. So it can save your life to recall all your presets. So that's another update. And I think that's being saved inside the device. But you can kind of set it to casual or medium or fast. So if you have a fast-paced podcast and you want quick transitions, you can just set this general setting and the transitions are going to move like that, or you could have it really casual and laid back. And so I believe there's like 3 different settings available in that. And again, those are covered in the Rode video I put in the description. And then you can go and watch in the description Aaron's video, and he'll talk about the 3 features that he discovered having this device for 2 weeks with the new beta. And now I believe it's going to be released. Okay. So I was just going to say that to do the firmware update, you need to download the newest version of Rode Central. And then just like you would update your RodeCaster Pro 2 from the software or from the device to update, I believe, the RodeCasterVideo, you're going to need to download Rode Central, and then it's going to give you a firmware update, and then that's going to make those changes for you. So, so it's pretty cool that they've added new features to this, a new thing you can do with your different, what are they called? I can't remember. I got to learn my RodeCaster Pro lingo. Where is it? The other thing that they added is USB, like the update for Blackmagic Design for your ATEM Mini, ATEM Mini, or ATEM Mini Pro, ATEM Mini Pro ISO, Extreme, Extreme ISO, Extreme SDI models as well, the Mini SDI model. All of those were updated at 9.5.1, where you can, out of the USB out, you can now choose multiple outputs. And now you can do the same thing in the RodeCasterVideo. So not only can you, out of HDMI 1 and 2, choose if you want multi-view or whatever, camera that you want to go, like to a projector if you're at a venue. So you could use one HDMI to send something to that projector. And then you could also go to a zoom and just assign like your main camera. And Aaron talks about how you could send your main camera to zoom now through the USB-C port. And you can do the same thing in an ATEM ISO or ATEM Mini Pro, or the Extreme ISO or the SDI models. It's not available in the older ATEM Mini, the original version, but that USB-C feature is available. And so now you can send just one camera, or camera 2 or camera 3, or even if your HyperDeck was plugged in, you could just send a video to your Zoom platform, and you could record the event in Zoom. So you could be live in a venue, and you could also be sending your program or just the speaker to your Zoom call. And that's huge. That USB-C port really adds a lot more features. Same with the ATEM Pro, ATEM Pro ISO, Extreme ISO, and the SDI models. They also can do that USB-C out. Now the ATEM Mini, the ATEM Mini Pro and the Pro ISO only do multi-view program, and I believe clean out. Let's log into it here real quick, and I'll show you. Let's go to my ATEM Mini connections, ATEM Mini connect. Bring this over. So when you go into the ATEM Mini, you have one output where the new RodeCaster video has two HDMI outs like an Extreme, but you have two SDI outs out of the SDI ATEM Mini. So there would be two SDI outputs. And then webcam, you have multi-view program, preview. So with the ATEM Mini, ATEM Mini Pro, you can't send just like a single camera to a Zoom caller, but the ATEM or the RodeCasterVideo, you can, if I can get this out. So that excites me only because that's one of the things that I really thought was missing when they did that firmware update in the ATEM Mini Pro, Pro ISO, and the SDI model. It is cool that the SDI model has two SDIs out, so you can convert one of those and send it to a projector in the venue. But the USB-C port only gives you those three choices, where if we pop into my Extreme and connect, bring it over, I can go up here to output webcam, and I can assign it to all of these. In fact, I now have the webcam out in my super source because I desperately need to know if that's changed. So I'll demo that. Let's go to box 2, and I will put my multi-view in there. And if you look at the bottom right box, that's my webcam out setting. So I know what's down there. So if I change my webcam out right now to, let's go to Extreme 2, now you're gonna see Super Source down there. Not Super Source, multi-view. So now I know. So I look over my multi-view, I know I have the wrong thing in my webcam out, my USB-C out, because I now added it to my multi-view. And that's pretty simple to do. Let me switch that back to program out. So let's go to box 2. So all you do is you go into your multi-view settings, and then right down here, you change what's in this bottom box. And remember, you can have one big box down there or 4 boxes. And then I can assign this, used to be to my, my HyperDeck key, so I could see the key channel, which is great when I'm demoing it and I need to show it to people. I'll change this then so I can actually show them my multi-view and show them fill and key side by side. But right now I have it assigned to webcam out, and I would go for a bigger multi-view if I had it. And that's the advantage of having like a 2ME rack mounted device, is that it has 2 multi-views, 1 for each ME. But that's a lot for me to control. I'm already controlling 2 ATEMs in the studio. So Rode has made some major updates. Again, I don't have one, so I can't really break down that device and show you that, but Aaron Preki did a great job. And then also, there's this video. Let me find it here. I have so many of these open. Yeah. So that's the video. It's in the description below. And if I scroll through this, you can see you can now switch to a input. You can play a video once. This is a video setting, or you can play a loop of that video, or you can switch to another channel after that video plays, and that's where you would have your intro video switch to another channel when it was done, and that can be set. You can see the drop-down box right below that. So lots of things in here. I'm not going to play this live because I don't want to get flagged, but they take you through all the settings. Let's see if that other setting is in here. Yeah, and when I'm scrolling over it like this, it's grayed out. There's the audio settings on the right. So if you have all of these audio devices enabled in Rode Central, then you can choose putting them on or off. So if you slide it over to the right, it's on. If you slide it to the left, it's off. So when you transition to that channel, you only have the audio on that you want. So if you just want your one microphone on, when it cuts to you, you can flip that on and leave the other channels off. And then you transition back to something else. You only want the audio from your playback disc on the RodeCasterVideo, then you can only have that audio enabled. If you want to talk over that video, then you would make a transition to talk over it. So you'd have your microphone on and it on. And so anyway, there's some great things in here. They're all covered in this video. So really cool. There's where you can assign the different things to the HDMIs. So go over and watch that video. Check it out. Again, I don't want to get fined here on the channel. Okay. Now, let's talk a little about mix effects. And again, Adam was in the chat earlier. I don't know. Adam, are you still in the chat? Let me know. Cool. So if you go to Adam's channel, and again, the link is in the description to his last video on the most recent update. But I love that Adam's in the chat. A lot of times when I let him know, I asked him today if there was anything that he had to disclose about updates. He is working on a couple things in Mix Effect, but obviously not ready to announce those or release those. So please don't ask him those questions. But if you have a question about Mixeffect or if it's applicable to you, he's in the chat right now. So ask him. That's really cool. Great to have you on, Adam. And also to see you participating in the Super Chat tonight. So again, there's Adam's comment. He is still here. So what I wanted to do tonight is have to tell you that this is a great tool. Now you're going to be able to use the USB-C version of iPad. This is Lightning, so I don't think it will show the multi-view. You can actually switch from multi-view, but you do have to tether it to your ATEM. So you would come out of your ATEM USB-C and into this, so you couldn't record at the same time if you only had an ATEM Mini or an ATEM Mini Pro or ATEM Mini Extreme. But if you have an Extreme, you have two USB-Cs out, so one of those could come in to this. Again, you have to kind of trick the USB-C to know which direction it's supposed to go, and Adam talks about that on his channel. So go over and check out his channel, subscribe to Adam Tao's channel, and I will bring that page up here. I think I have Adam here on the screen. Yeah, here he is. So let me cut to this again. So this is 2.1.1. This is a video where Adam talks about it. You got to kind of go back through some of the other videos. There's been lots of updates. Even has a video about how to get your iPad set up so that you can see multi-view, how you can switch without actually seeing multi-view, how that's tethered, and how you can display it. I do have now a Pro M4 13-inch iPad that Shannon inherited from her mother, who passed away in November. And so I do have that now added to my account. I do have Mixeffect on it, and we are going to bring that live. I need to play with it, figure out exactly what dongles I need. And again, all you're doing is converting USB-C to USB-A and then back again. And Adam says as soon as you do that, it will work. I don't think there's an issue with all the different dongles out there, but Adam actually talks about that on his other videos. But this is the latest update. And so you can see that you have SRT password support now. He has chapter markers. You can disable fade to black now. That's a new firmware update, so you can actually go into your software and control software and get rid of fade to black so you don't actually hit that button by accident. Again, if you don't know what fade to black does, I'll hit it right now. It covers everything, every key, every camera. It doesn't matter what you have in your program, fade to black is going to cover that. So Adam talks about how you can enable that now in Mixeffect. Again, expanded multi-view settings for supported switchers, including frame guides, borders, border color, and labels. So the very same things that you can do in multi-view now in the control software, he's now enabled those things in Mixeffect. So again, Adam's done such a great job on this. I'm not getting paid. He's not, well, again, tonight I got a super chat to help me get PlayoutBee. So I appreciate that, Adam, because you're in the chat. Again, I met Adam when it first came out, Mixeffect first came out. I bought in then. He actually was so kind to come on my channel. So you can go in my Mixeffect playlist, and Adam and I we chatted together. He was in my live stream. I brought him in through Zoom, so you can go back and check that. You have the ability to lock individual SuperSource boxes from being manipulated in the SuperSource Visual Editor. Apple Pencil support in SuperSource Visual Editor. Double tap to toggle the editor and squeeze Apple Pencil Pro to lock or unlock individual boxes in the editor. So he's even added Apple Pencil support. Again, this app only works on Apple devices, so keep that in mind. And again, there are some older iPads like mine. I don't believe you can do the multi-view display because mine's Lightning, and that I think is only available in the USB-C faster ports. So then you have beta enabled frame rate aware animations under advanced settings. So what does that mean? Well, the cool thing about Mixeffect is that there are SuperSource transitions, and I'll show you these right now because I can demo it. So I don't know what's in these presets, but I'm just going to hit one of them, and these animations are that fast. So nothing I can do about how fast or how slow they are, but now I can go in and change the speed of these transitions. And I love that Adam wrote all this code inside MixEffects. And so you can make your own layouts, you can save them, you can then, like, let's say you wanted to say live show and then call it 2-box or 3-box or iPad, whatever you want to call those. Once you call it live stream, you can search by live stream, and then all of those presets can pop up on the screen. Let's just cut back to me and the logo. So then you can search and just have those, sorry about that light, displayed on the screen. So I love that it has all of the pretty much settings. And then with the ability to have side by side, Adam even demos having 2 ATEMs open at the same time. So this could be opened here, and then it could be split over here. And so the newer Mac actually has the ability to put something in the middle as well. And I just started playing that on the MacBook Pro 13 M4, which I'm really excited to mess around with. The thing's huge, it's 13 inches. This is like the older iPads, but again, really cool features. And I just wanted to give a shout out again to MixEffects. When I talk about updates to really important streaming tools, I think this is one of the best tools. I mean, I get a Stream Deck. You can even Stream Deck this, automate it, and you can actually use a Stream Deck now with Companion, and you can automate the RodeCasterVideo. That's been added. I think there's a plugin for Stream Deck control of a RodeCasterVideo now available. That's been in some of the videos that I've watched on it as well. And again, I can't wait to get that device in the studio. I can't wait to play around with the newer changes that Adam made and use this with my ATEMs. Now, I personally am not going to go away from ATEMs, but I do have clients all the time that it's just an easier solution for them to use a possibly a RodeCasterVideo. But I do love what's capable with MixEffects. So, Adam, anything else in the updates just prior to 2.1.1 that you would like to just highlight in the chat? I would love to have you do that. And I did not post any of the older videos on there. You can just, once you click on the first link in my description below, you can subscribe to Adam's channel and then ring the bell so that you can get notified from all his videos. The other thing too, if you turn it, it switches. So you can use it both ways. And I use this iPad to control my PreSonus Studio Live 32 console. I can use my phone as well, and I can use my phone or my iPad to control MixEffects. So what this means is that I can be portable at an event, controlling my control software and moving around the building, and also mixing audio around the building. So I could sit in the front row and run a live stream at a different location. So that's why I told Jason from Vegas Hard Bags that he should get MixEffects, and he now has it loaded on his iPad, and we're gonna play with that when we get to Las Vegas next week. I'll be there again Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, flying in Monday evening, and then leaving Friday and be back in the studio late Friday afternoon. So, and we'll be live Tuesday on my channel and live Wednesday on his channel. I will be producing then, and then we'll be side by side on Tuesday night. So MixEffects, PlayoutBee, Rode has done some updates. They've even updated their Wave plugin, so they're constantly integrating. So they even have a company that you can buy color-coded HDMI cables, and they're just adding more things. They have mic arms, they have USB microphones now. Rode has not only been in the business of microphones for years, now they're adding video production gear, and I really think they did a great job, as Adam has done a great job as well. Now, Adam has some other things going on his channel, so go over and check it out. But I love the fact that Adam, back before COVID, wanted to solve the controlling the ATEM problem that many people were having to use a laptop or a PC and mousing around. And now you can use Adam's app to tap on the screen and change things, change ATEMs. So again, if I just scroll down there, scroll down, there are all my ATEMs, and I can switch to a different ATEM if I wanted to and control it. And it's faster switching in his MixEffect app than it is in the control software, because all I got to do is flip it sideways, go down and click on the ATEM I want, and all three of them are connected. And then if you connect the ATEMs and MixEffects and Companion all together, you can create Stream Deck buttons to do controlling of MixEffect as well and your ATEM, and it's credible. It's just a great, great tool. So let's put where I normally live is with the main switcher page, open to my macros, so I can do some switching. So let's put chat on the air. Yeah, just posted it. I'll be talking about audio over IP and PTP clocks. It's cool. So Jay is going to be live tonight, so go check out his live. I will be off the air here not too long from now, and then you can go over and be on his live. I think it's an hour after we will get off tonight. Adam says you pretty much covered everything. USB View really is a game-changing for able to see the multi-view on the app. Yeah, again, that's one of the things that Adam was asked in the very beginning. I'll leave that up for a few minutes. Again, thank you, Adam, so much for being here. So again, that's a game changer. And again, that's the technology that got updated on the iPad. Adam figured out how to tap into that and display multi-view. And again, understand that this camera, actually, let me just do this. Okay, let me think through this. Let me just go to this view right here. So let's pull chat off the air and my logo off the air. Man, I have moved things all over tonight. So imagine being able to see that on your iPad and then tapping on what source you want to be live. So again, and then adjusting the speed. So I've got to say, well done, Adam, because those are game-changing additions. And I mean, I thought it was pretty cool when you added HyperDecks and then you created a shortcut to do things that you couldn't do. You couldn't add in MixEffects, so you can still use shortcuts on your iPad or your Mac device to be able to change discs on a HyperDeck. I love that you can start and stop and change now a HyperDeck on there. There's a whole HyperDeck settings. So you got to buy the Pro version, and it enables all these. But there's my two HyperDecks. You can see my clip names. And then one of my favorite all-time features in this, and this is crazy, but remember, I use macros on MixEffect more than anything. Again, I'm kind of automated when I'm doing live, and if I do remote shoots, I'll make other macros, but I love that I can go into a macro right here on my iPad, click on this little icon, and I can change the name. I don't have to do a whole new macro to rename it like you have to in the ATEM control software. Adam found a workaround to where you actually can change the name of your macro right here. You can record macros from this device, and the fact that he hacked the ability to change the names, I mean, it's great. So, and that's just a few of the features. I'm only scratching the surface with the incredibleness of this app. And so, you know, I can't learn everything. You know, if I get a those of you guys who know me, those of you that have been clients before that are live with me, you know that once I get a RodeCasterVideo, right? I'm going to update the firmware and I'm going to dive into that. And it takes like weeks of study. Again, it's almost like a new camera or a new car. Not all cars are the same. Not all readouts are the same. They move the buttons around, the turn signal, the washers, the stereo. I mean, come on, now things are touchscreen. If you buy a Tesla, it's just one giant screen and your phone is your key. It's crazy. Now that I get a chance to ride around with a friend of mine that has a Tesla, it's crazy. So my next door neighbor just bought the truck. So I'm actually planning on doing an interview with him to talk about the difference between his old traditional truck and his new cyber truck. I think that would be a great podcast. He is my neighbor. He doesn't know it yet, but I'm hoping to get an interview with him. Probably won't bring him on live, but I'll probably do an interview with him because it'd be a great story to hear what the learning curve has been for him. It's parked in his driveway right now because he's got other toys in his garage, and there's a cable coming under his garage door. So he's probably going to contact his electrician to add a whole new outlet in his garage if he hasn't done it already. Right now, I'm sure he's using an adapter, but if I owned a car like that, I would have a supercharger at my house. No question about it. I don't know what that would cost me, but I would definitely have a supercharger. So Rode's video update, adding 3 or more new features that are game changers. Adam Tao adding continual new features. PlayoutBee version 2 is now out. Las Vegas is going to get a visit from Life Journey Productions and Keith Bennett, and I'm going to get a chance to be there next week with Jason. And Vegas Hard Bags and Major League Fab, his 2 businesses. So please get this description, watch one of his videos, like it, and subscribe to Jason's channel. And hopefully we'll have Jason back here with us again in the chat. He's a very, very busy guy. And so we will see. So let me put chat back on, and let's put my iPad back so I don't feel like a fish out of water. And we'll take Adam's chat off the screen. If you want to ask him any questions, please do it. So Jay is live in 30 minutes, and that was a little bit ago. So cool. So that means he's going to be live 6 o'clock my time. And I believe, is that 8 or 9 o'clock your time? And Jason says he is going to test my skills with my crazy ideas. Yeah, Jason is like, we're going to talk about it next week. I don't want to give the whole thing away, but his camera situation downstairs in that shot. And if you guys weren't here early, let me just throw this over my face again. It's the easiest way to do this. Down here is got a really interesting camera situation. You installed some new lights. We're going to be messing around with that. We're also going to be in this set. I will be sitting next to him in this set, it sounds like. Let's go back to this better mic here. Sounds like that'll be fun. And then we're going to be messing around in the studio. He's actually going to be where this curtain is. He's going to be adding another brick panel. We talked about this, so he can shoot from a guest into the corner. He has a 2 camera set up in here. I have other pictures, but we're going to show all of that stuff next week again. So I'm showing you 3 different areas, but in reality, there are at least 2 more that we're going to be working on. And so pretty cool. So I can always rub my eyes and scratch my head while I'm off camera. So anyway. So got to fix my Raspberry Pi. Joe, I might need your help again. I only saw 2 super chats or 3 come in tonight. So we haven't hit our goal. So we will have to shoot for that again next week. So let's see what we had here. Adam chimed in with a super chat. Hank chimed in with a super chat. Oops, get that up there. And Jason chimed in with a super chat. So we need 2 more. And so if you would like to support me getting PlayoutBee, again, that is a HyperDeck emulator, and I'll put that in my Raspberry Pi. And while I'm working on my Raspberry Pi, I think I'll have some apple pie. Just keep myself honest, because I mess it up with apple pie all the time. And this is in argon case because I wanted to look really cool. It's got little fan areas, and again, an off and on switch. And then I also bought you know me, techie, I even bought a remote control for it. And I have to change the batteries on this, but this is for the argon case. And so we'll attempt to get all that working, and including the new MacBook Pro 13-inch M2, so that I can show you guys multi-view here in my studio and do some switching live for you. And I will be able to bring my iPad into the live stream using my little tether device. And so that night we will really run it through its paces after I purchase the dongle. So 9 p.m. Eastern time, a little less than 20 minutes, TVJ will be live. So let me know what the issue is with the Pi. Like I said, I can't log in, so, which is fine. Once I get the new version, I will just completely use the app to re-flash that micro SD card, and then I'll be fine. I should be fine. So none of the default passwords are letting me in, even though it comes up, Joe, as Pi, as the username, and it comes right over top of the PlayoutBee page. So basically, the Raspberry Pi boots up first, and then it launches PlayoutBee version 1, and then I get this screen that says I can log in custom, or I can log in under Pi and username. And I've tried Raspberry Pi as the password, lowercase, uppercase, small case, all that stuff. All the passwords that I ever use. Look through all my notes. None of my notes did I change any passwords when you and I did it. So what happened to your hand hitting the hard bags? Thank you, Hank. Yeah, and I don't know the command line, so if there's a way to bypass it, I think you can stop it in its boot up before it loads PlayoutBee. I remember, I think we played with that, but again, I am not a Raspberry Pi guy at all. That's why I reached out to you, Joe, in the very beginning. My right hand had a wound. Yeah, this right here happened to me actually in the shower. So I have this brush in there, and as I was getting out, I was cleaning a section of the shower, just getting rid of some of the hard water spots and all that, and went right across that finger. So I didn't hit it with a hard bag. I actually damaged it with a brush that we keep at the base of the corner of our shower. And so I will not be cleaning the shower anytime soon. That is definitely not my gift. So any questions tonight that I haven't answered? I did have on the still image tonight that we were going to have some Q&A. And so we're going to have some Q&A if you guys have any questions. Again, my new studio tour video should be out in a day or so. Hopefully tomorrow it's actually done, and I've rendered it, and then I watch it through, find a mistake, fix it, render it again, watch it through. And the reason I render it is I want to see it in real time to make sure the lips are synced. Sometimes they'll be synced when I see it on my timeline, and then I'll render it and something will be off. So I watch it all the way through critically, step away from my desk, come back and watch it on a big monitor, and then make notes of the timestamps, and then correct it one more time. Trying to make them as quality as I can before they get uploaded, but it is a very thorough studio tour. So I hope you guys will enjoy that video when it gets launched. It's because you guys asked for it. Yeah, see what happens when I try to clean things up. What did you think BlackMagic will do to combat the RodeCasterVideo and other devices that have more features than ATEMs? I got to tell you, there's two answers to that, right? I'll be the nice Keith. I think they're watching. I think they already enabled that USB feature, but I don't know that they have any more ability inside the ATEM Mini, ATEM Mini Pro, ATEM Mini STI, ISO. I don't think they have any more ability inside of that to enable that USB-C port to do more. So they could come out with a new board. That means kind of starting the ATEMs all the way over. Why not make some major changes, make it a little bit bigger and add 2 HDMI outs, 2 USB-C ports. But again, why buy an Extreme if the ATEM Mini has it? So if you watch BlackMagic's trend, this is a nice Keith, they're always like adding a new device that does something, but not everything. And so eventually you have one of everything, like Adam Tao when they were loaning him all the different devices. At one point, I was on a Zoom call with Adam, and he had a whole bunch of these devices from BlackMagic loaners on his back counter. You'd look like Adam Tao's studio. But so that's the nice Keith. I don't know if they'll just come out with a new device and compete. But again, Rode is really good with the RodeCaster Pro of trying to make it for user-friendly, 4 inputs plus the multiple USB-C ports that can be used both ways. It's cool that it has XLR. That's not available on any of the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO all the way down. You don't get XLRs until you get into some of the bigger devices. That's a big thing on the back of a Rode device. So again, the mean, Keith, is I don't think they care if I was going to be mean. I don't know that BlackMagic Design is trying to compete with Rode. I think Rode is looking for a segment of the people out there, and that's what they're really going after. And so the RodeCasterVideo, the RodeCaster Pro, now the RodeCaster Pro 2, the RodeCaster Pro Duo, the Streamer X, all of those were like niches. Like Rode is trying to grab these little areas, make it user-friendly, and I think they just released it too fast, and they just didn't really know the kind of feedback they're going to get. Once they get around guys like us that have been using BlackMagic Design devices for so long, other people are using YOLO boxes, other people are using OC switchers. There's lots of manufacturers now that are trying to make a small switcher to compete with the ATEM Mini Pro ISO. Again, you can do ISO recording in the RodeCasterVideo. So I think that BlackMagic Design is going to have to continue to innovate. I did want to say this tonight, as we're talking about BlackMagic. Forgot about this. Almost forgot to talk. What in the world just happened? Try that again. What happened to box 2, guys? Hello. Box 2, where are you? Feel like my granddaughter's here. Box 2 is not enabled. Go figure. So let's get back into BlackMagic. So I wanted to just say the BlackMagic Camera app is free. It's available for both Apple and non-Apple devices, and they added new buttons to work with the new iPhones, and there's lots of cool things. I'll just scroll through this video a little bit here. So there she is, wiping on the menu system. So this video, I believe, is in the description as well. So check out some of the updates available in the BlackMagic Camera app. Again, how can you beat free? So free camera app. They've made some updates. It's now available for more than just Apple devices. And it's really cool that they're using the new button. It's like a touch sensitive button. I do not have the new, I still have an iPhone 14. I do not have the new iPhone. I believe it's only on the 16 that has that button. So they made some changes to that. There's some other updates in that video. So make sure that you guys watch that. Let me just copy. Where is this video? I'm not sure that this is in the description. Stop. But if you go to BlackMagic's site and you click on products and scroll down, click on the BlackMagic Camera app right here. So product page, back to product page, scroll down. Let's click on the home page, which comes up. And if you scroll down, here's where you have that BlackMagic Camera app page. The other thing I wanted to say is there's a new lower price on the Cinema Camera 4K for $995. $6,995 for the new BlackMagic Ursa Sign 12K. I won't be buying one of those. So you can see what's new with BlackMagic design. And again, if you have a rack-mounted device, I think this new ATEM micro control panel is really cool right here. So I try to stay up on BlackMagic's pages. They still have not released the Media Player 10G. It's still not available for anything but pre-order on B&H's site. So I do not know why they have not released that. That was announced clear back at NAB last year, and we'll see when they actually finally release that device. So check that out. Check out the BlackMagic design camera videos to talk about what's available now and some new features. It just keeps getting better and better. It's available on more devices, and now it has special features built in to use the newer phones to make it an incredible, intuitive device, because these are smart, great cameras, great lenses, really good, starting to get better in low light. The iPhone 16 isn't really necessarily that big of an upgrade. Some of the camera features, they quote megapixels that really aren't there. You have to have pretty big sensors to get larger megapixel shots. You can't just double the dots. That would be just like the old school television, 1080i instead of 1080p. 1080p really is 1080 lines by 720 1920 by 1080, that many lines. But if it's 1080i, it's half as many doubled. So keep that in mind. Now, they can't do the same thing as DSLRs yet, but who knows? Maybe they'll start being able to buy bigger sensors or whatever inside those cameras so they can get larger files. And then we need more storage, which is very expensive when you buy a smart device and it's soldered in. So keep that in mind. Like many of the laptops, you buy what you get, and then you can't really change. Even though it's available in 32 gigs, you can't get 32 gigs because it's soldered in. So so those are some things that I wanted to talk about. See if there's anything else on their homepage. New lower BlackMagic cloud prices. So if you want to start using their integration on the cloud, new BlackMagic Pixis monitor that was announced at NAB. DaVinci Resolve is up to 19. You can download the free version. There's some AI technology built into it now. Got the Ursa 12K. They actually are selling a 12K camera now. You have the replay editor, which isn't really going to be super good device until they get that Media Player 10G out, which is Thunderbolt. You got the little control panel for 509 that you can do color grading. I remember when I was looking at these years ago, when I was doing some video production and some coloring, Devices like this were either really cheesy and didn't have good quality equipment in them, or they were $2 or $3 grand. So the fact that you can get that little controller and control DaVinci Resolve, the coloring page with that device, that is really cool. The new BlackMagic Cloud Store Max, you can purchase. And again, the 2110 IP converters, if you want to go super fast and more intuitive transition through your network, all kinds of new devices. You got the new Constellation 4K and the HD devices. And it sounds to me like these two devices, I still haven't got a straight answer, but I was told, I thought last week in an email from Blackmagic Design that the 4K and the HD now Ultra has actually SuperSource built into it, and you're able to do the new borders, which I talked about in the new firmware update. So that video is a couple weeks ago. You can watch that. And then the micro panel, which I already talked about. I don't know what they're doing with their NAMM dates. It says that we'll see you in Anaheim, January 23 through 25. Then when you click on the register here page, you're now registering from NAMM 2026. So Blackmagic Designs guys need to update their page. So again, thank you, Jason, for inviting me to be in Las Vegas next week and for being on the stream tonight. Thank you, Adam Tao, for your continued support of the channel, and vice versa. Guys, go over and subscribe on both of their channels and hit the like button. Thanks to guys like Joe. Thanks to guys like Tony. And thanks to guys for like Jay and Hank and all of these guys, Grish, that you're coming every week. DJ Ware, Doug was in here early, Doug Force. If you have not subscribed to all these guys' channels and ring the bell so that you can keep in touch, get that going as soon as possible. So we'll finish up with Joe. Fun fact, ATEM 2ME webcam output is now configurable like the minis are. Yeah, I heard that. So the 2ME has the ability to configure the USB-C out. If you go to the page, there's a list of devices in what's updated on Blackmagic's site that tells you what the update is good for and what it's not good for. So if we go back here to me and a laptop, and we go in here to read more of the 9.6.3 update, it tells you these devices were updated. So it always gives you a list, but they don't always put all the features. So that's the 9.6.3 update. And maybe you guys have updated to that or not. But if you go back to 9.6.2, which I talked about on the channel a while back ago, you got SuperSource borders available in the ATEM 4, ATEM 2, ATEM 1ME HD, which is what we are wondering about. These are the things that are available in the 4ME, 2ME, and 1ME Constellation 4Ks, ATEM 8K. And so you can go through these lists. Just make sure when you do these firmware updates, you take time to click on that little read more page, which if you don't know where that's at, it's right always at the bottom of the description right here. You click on it, then it opens up that window. Okay. But chat back on. Good point on Blackmagic Design not competing. That said, the ATEM Mini is really for prosumers like Rode is. So there is a overlap. Yeah, and hopefully the people that are going to be using the RodeCaster Pro 2, in fact, tomorrow night I will be at one of my clients' house helping them with their first podcast. They have a RodeCaster Pro 2. They have a friend that has Blackmagic Design cameras. And so he's going to be just doing ISO recordings on his Blackmagic cameras and editing it later in DaVinci Resolve. And I will be producing the podcast. And so showing them how to use it for the third time and actually helping them produce that tomorrow night. I may take some footage while I'm there, but that I'm doing stuff like this, guys, all the time. And so thank you so much. Thank you guys again for the super chats. Thank you for tolerating my story about my broken tooth and my cap that I have on it. Going to be replaced with a real one on the 26th, and having to go to the dentist in the middle of a live stream day. I'm be gone for 2 hours getting my face drilled, and I was numb when we started the podcast, and now I can feel my face and nothing's numb. So, okay, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, thank you so much for being with me live. Thank you for subscribing. Please hit the like button. I noticed the last couple of weeks we haven't had as many likes. It really does make a difference. So if you stayed all night, hit the like button. If you're watching this video later, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel and hit the hit the bell icon and then set it to all, and you'll get notified when my new video comes out, studio tour. And again, I took time to put a lot of the little still images of videos that I have on certain devices in my stream. I didn't stop and talk about the videos and all that. They just have a still image come up, and I'm going to put as much as that as I can in the chat. I may do a part 2 video just so I can put the rest of those links in the chat and just say, hi guys, this is a bonus to my studio tour, show you my closet that I have down the hallway, and then put the rest of those links in part 2. But part 1 should be releasing of my studio tour in the next couple of days. So hitting the like button is great. I need it. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. Thank you for taking your evening and hanging out with me from the Bay Area. By the way, Adam, my son Nathan lives in the San Francisco area now again, and I think about you every time they say they're going to drive home. They drove home from here in Richland, Washington, Saturday morning and got down into the San Francisco area in the afternoon. That's where Adam is from, and he's suffering in 70-something weather. So, okay, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to roll out. I am Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios, and I will hopefully see each one of you in the next video and live from Las Vegas next Tuesday night from Vegas Hardbags, Jason's studio. Can't wait to be live with him on Tuesday night from his studio. Until then, be safe. Don't eat caramel corn if you have cracked teeth. Catch you later.